full moon hangs high in the night sky, its pale light illuminating our path forward. Beneath our feet, the forgotten leaves of autumn crunch and shatter, each grounded leaf just as delicate as the gentle snowflake that has begun to fall. It's perplexing. The warmth of fall has turned into cold and solace. Yet the warmth of distant winter lights beckons us home. It's in this moment that we forget all about spooky spirits and turn towards making spirits bright. Welcome back to another episode of the Ink Table Podcast, a Lorcana podcast where a group of fellow Illumineers gather around the metaphorical ink table and share their table talk with you. So if you enjoy lore, art, a sense of community, comedic banter, or just all things Disney, then pull up a seat and join hosts Dylan Bailey and Preston McNair as we all bundle up and brace for winter.
All right. Yeah, I think we are definitely bracing for winter right now, like especially with this crazy winter storm that rolled in last night. All of us this morning trying to stay nice and warm, but we're gathered here today one last time in the year of 2025 here at the Ink Table Podcast. So in this episode, we have a plethora of new Lorcana products coming in 2026 that we get to look at. We get to discuss our Disney and Lorcana adventures that will be taking place in January, the success of the first ever Infinity Weekend. We'll have our spoiler-free discussion about Zootopia 2, and some new franchises coming in Winterspell.
And Dylan has power.
All of this. Yeah, I have power. For real. I'm like, it's winter. We have snowflakes outside, at least, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 inches here. I think John's got maybe half a foot at his house, something like that. Yeah. But thank you, everybody, for pulling up a seat here at the Ink Table. Once again, thank you for celebrating the Ink Table podcast for over a year now. It's been awesome. It's been amazing. And we can't wait to get into 2026 and continue sharing this table talk with you. This episode of the Ink Table podcast is actually sponsored by us and our merch shop, the inktable-shop.fourthwall.com. You check out our merch, and you can learn a little bit more about that later on in this episode. But for now, let's talk about some of these new Lorcana products coming in 2026.
It's all about puzzles. I feel like the holidays has like a very like I don't know. My in-laws are all about puzzles, and that's I don't know if it's like that for anyone else, but love it or hate it, puzzles are here. But yeah, no. So a lot of stuff has transpired since the first live show, but these new puzzles. So if you recall back there, well, when was D20 Destination D23 or D23 proper? It was
Oh,
August,
goodness.
was it?
I believe so, right after
August.
Gen Con.
Yeah, it was like July, August-ish. So we've had Lorcana puzzles for a while. It was a limited run, one for each type. 2 of them were actually Disney exclusives, but now we actually have proper Lorcana puzzles now. Except not, I had to look down, but not 1,000 pieces. But actually, these puzzles are actually a little bit smaller in size. They're actually 300 pieces. They're a little bit more dissectable. So there's 3 of them. You got your Pooh Honey Wizard, you got your Moana and Montanui, and then you got your Elsa the fifth spirit rather. Smaller 300-piece puzzles. Again, Ravensburger's been a puzzle company since the beginning, and it adds up that we have all these puzzles here. So I believe these were like the first. I believe Moana, like whenever they announced puzzles, I feel like Moana was the first like teaser we saw, and then we got like the ink puzzles first. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So we've been
They always
waiting.
seem to show Amber off first.
Right, which alphabetical, I guess. But the key with these is that they're only available in Ravensburger online shops in the UK, France, Germany, and here in the States. Don't know if we have prices on this. Obviously, it's going to vary by region and by currency, but 1,000-piece puzzle is quite the feat. Mine's literally still laying on my shelf. I'm going to do it this winter. I need some stuff in my office. But the 300-piece puzzles are available online. Definitely a little bit more dissectable. So I like it. I
Soon.
think
No release date.
no release date. Okay, that was gonna be my next question. Was
Yeah.
what's the release
Soonish.
date?
I'm sure when we get the
Soon-ish,
release date, we'll get the prices as well.
soon, TM, whatnot. So not only do we have the Lorcana puzzles, there's some new puzzles. Um, we also got a barrage of kind of new products kind of released all at once. So there's one that unfortunately we don't have an official marketing photo of, but some of you might remember this little product called Gateway. Gateway was that introductory learn to play Lorcana product that we got released that didn't have locations, and now half the cards are rotated out. Gateway 2.0 win, but maybe these new two-player sets are going to answer a lot of those questions. So these new two-player sets, again, there's no official photos of these, but they're going to be available in May of 2026. There are actually going to be there's going to be one that has both an amber and an amber emerald deck, and then the amethyst ruby deck. So there's two of them. So you have a amber emerald deck. I guess the whole like thematic around that is cards that like to play together. And then your amethyst ruby deck is going to be a little bit more challenger heavy, a little bit more hands-on fundamental Lorcana. In that, you'll get 2 lore trackers and 13 paper damage tokens, very similar to what we had inside the single player decks. And we don't know what it's going to contain, but one would hope that locations will be in there.
What else would you want? I thought about this too. Like, besides locations, what are some key things that you would like to see brought into a Gateway 2.0?
So, I mean, locations has to be one. I would like for this Gateway 2.0, these new two-player sets to contain illusions. I would like for them to contain whispers. Any new mechanic that is now core constructed legal as a post rotation, I think that is imperative to include inside this. I'd like to see some dice, but I know that with the whole state of everything, we've lost the character pins, production costs are rising. I don't know if I could see them going that route. But it's going to be a great. I would assume it's going to be a great introduction for new players. But really, they just need to take what's new, what came out after Gateway, and add this into this new two-player set. I think that's going to be important. That we need exposure to these new things because we're in the big Facebook group. I think we all know what the big Facebook group is for Disney Lorcana, and I feel like there's a lot of things in Gateway and people are playing it, but then they get their hands on whispers, illusions, and they're like, "How does this work?" And that's really, I think, where the big knowledge gap is.
Well, even at the local level, right? I mean, this is always, since they've introduced Gateway, this has always been the big product that is, it's the introductory product. That's how it's marketed. And we always tell new players that are just trying to get into the game, especially here around winter and Christmas and stuff like that, as you're looking for gifts. We got that video up that we created or whatever. Gateway is such a great introductory point for players to get into a TCG for the first time, also just like Lorcana in general, and there is so much missing. Like you said, half these cards have been rotated out. We don't have locations. We just got that alert keyword. Okay,
Yep.
so far we have 2 cards with the alert keyword. I believe it's a Cricky
Yep.
and a Lexington, a Sapphire and Steel card. Well, the 2 decks that come in this 2-player set are Amber Emerald and Amethyst Ruby. So none of those would really consist of
We'll
that
have that.
alert keyword yet. Yeah, illusions can stick around, but we haven't got any new illusion cards recently. We haven't got any dual link cards recently. We could possibly do whispers, but how long are whispers going to stick around?
Not long.
Outside of
If I were to
locations,
guess.
yeah, outside of locations, the one thing that I would like to see them absolutely, like, it is a must for me, is sing together, because I think that's another big mechanic that has stuck around since it was introduced, with singing like the big songs that was not a part of the original Gateway.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot more sing-togethers that are like being played at not only competitive level but also local level. So you got Dig a Little Deeper, you got the Mob Song kind of rising up. So
Under the Sea.
Under the Sea, which is the big one. So no, I mean, again, it comes out in May, so maybe we'll see alert keywords in the other collars as well. But yeah, I'm excited to see what exactly this contains. I'm curious if it's going to be like a very like, um, I call it pre-con. I know that's not the right word, but like, hey, here's your deck. Do not shuffle it, like how Gateway is. I'm curious if this is going to be free a free for all, or if it's going to be like a hey, we're gonna flip you through the mechanics, don't shuffle. I would like to think they're going to keep that. I think that's a very smart way to do it. So
We'll see.
don't know. Don't know. But no, I think it's good to hear that there is a new intro product on the way. I think that's the important thing because
Yeah.
Fabled, I will say I do wish that they could have released something like this alongside Fabled, because Fabled we saw a lot of new people get into the game. I think that would have been the perfect time. But are we going to have a celebratory set every single year? I don't know. So, don't know. But that'll be available this May of 2026. There's brand new 2-player sets. The kind of we're calling it internally Gateway 2.0.
$30.
$30 hairs, yeah. MSRP of $29.99 US. So check out your local game shops for that. Whenever pre-orders pop up, we'll announce it in the Discord, which we'll talk about Discord links in a little bit. Dylan, do you like binders?
I'm the wrong person to ask for that.
We got another one. So no, all kidding aside. Also coming out inside this new plethora of products is a new collection starter set, the Stitch edition. So you probably remember that in Fabled, we actually had the Fabled collection starter set. It had the Brave Little Tailor art. The DLC Brave Little Tailor art. I bought it immediately because it's my favorite art in the game. Where it came with 4 packs of Fabled. It came with a glitter promo and kind of like an introductory to Lorcana. These products are designed for collectors because there's a lot of collectors, a lot of people that only collect Lorcana in this community. So we are getting another one with the release, or in Winterspell rather, with Rockstar Stitch. And if you're in the Discord, you know that we've talked about this, and I have said I don't need another binder. But by golly, they just released another one, which myself and I know Dylan's wife Cassidy also has a
Yep.
attachment to. So this is the Rockstar Stitch. The importance behind this one is that it is the first set championship art for Rockstar Stitch, and it's the first competitive Lorcana event that I ever attended. And myself and Dylan's wife Cassidy were lucky to place in the top 4. So immediately I was like, okay, all right, fine. We'll entertain the idea, but you get this nice little art. Let me grab something. Hold on. So let me.
Ruh-roh, are you grabbing the actual card, set championship card, or the
Surprise! No,
binder?
no, grabbing a binder. So
Okay.
for size comparison, this is no grabbing the binder. So for size comparison, Preston head for scale. I know I have a blur on my webcam, but it's your smaller folio. It's about was it 4, yeah, 4 per page roughly. So it's bite sized, it's smaller, but not your
Great
big
trade
folio.
binder. Great to bring to the
What?
parks to carry around with you. I
Yeah,
know you mentioned that this is great for collectors, but I mean, it's titled a starter set. This is also another one of those products that's great for new players, especially children, because it
oh yeah,
comes with, what is it, four packs of the newest set, whatever it is. Like that one had 4 packs of Fabled. The Stitch one will have 4 packs of Winterspell whenever it releases. So it's a great way to start your collection and have a way to protect it and show it off as you can carry it around in that binder. I think it's 80 slots,
uh,
holds 80 cards.
80 cards, I believe, something like that. Sounds about right. We'll go with 80. But you do get that glitter foil promo though. The Stitch, what is that? Carefree. I can't zoom in.
Is it
Uh,
the Carefree Snowboarder?
Carefree Snowboarder. There we go. So that glitter
New
promo
card for
they're
Winterspell.
continuing to use. So just same art, but you got that glitter foil around the side. So let's see here. That is coming out in March, actually March 13th. So a little bit after Winterspell's release. So you have kind of similar to Fabled. Fabled's collection star set came out after the set release. So this will come out a few weeks after. But yeah, nice to carry around the parks. Definitely a lot better than a full, what is it, 6 or 8 page folio. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. But um, I I I would say expect one of these with every set going forward. I
I
think
would
it's
think so.
yeah,
I mean, it goes back to bringing people in. In a starter set is a starting point to bring people in, and you always have to have a starting point for somebody because no matter how long we've been doing it, this is always going to be new to someone.
right. It's gonna be bite sizable. It's also just really fun if you're looking for packs too.
Yeah,
But anyway, so starter set, collector set, Stitch edition coming in Winterspell. We also like boxes around these neck of the woods, so we have another one. So we have the Scrooge McDuck gift box. Now, before I go into the product, I do just want to say that a couple episodes ago, we started to notice a trend with how they were releasing these. So the very first one we got was the Amber gift set, which came out in March of this year with the Lilo. In October this year, we had the Amethyst one with Elsa the Fifth Spirit. And we kind of noticed the trend of like Emerald's probably going to be next because on Lorcana's website, this is the order that they have the inks. It's also an alphabetical order. So it seems that they are going to continue down this trend. We called it here. Uh, you heard it here first. But Emerald,
I think we have that photo, and
we do.
it was all the way back when they announced the Amethyst one, not when it released, but like when they very first announced that we were getting that Elsa the Fifth Spirit gift box or whatever. We were like, all right, there's clearly a pattern here. Let's go ahead and call it early because we I think we even asked people like on Instagram like what card
Yeah.
they would like to see on this Emerald one.
Yep.
And as much as we heard Clarabelle and this Emerald card and that Emerald card, nobody could have guessed the card that they actually picked because it wasn't even out yet.
No. I I thought it might have been Clarabelle or something like some I say iconic, but some notable card from previous because each of these cards have been pretty notable. So it's like the Lilo, the Elsa, but we have the Scrooge. So also coming out in Winterspell, also on March 13th. So the collection set and the gift box launching the same day. MSRP of $30 US. So you inside these gift boxes, you receive a variety of things. You'll get this Scrooge McDuck, the Shush Agent, is a card that came out in Whispers in the Well. It is going to be in an alt art format, just like Lilo, just like Elsa. The box you get on the inside is actually glitter. So the intent behind this is you receive up to you'll receive 5 randomly selected packs from previous sets. That's the case with all the other ones. Um, so you get this box to collect it in. You get 5 random booster packs, and also you'll receive the Scrooge McDuck Shush Agent glitter foil promo, and you'll receive some kind of cardboard paper dividers for the collection. So these come in clutch. I took one to DLC and I was like, oh, this is handy because I'm finding uses for these things. But we have the Emerald one, and that leaves what next in our prediction? That's going to be Ruby. Yes,
Ruby
Ruby.
next, and
Thoughts,
then what is
predictions?
it? I think it's this kind of proves it that it's still too early to tell
Yep.
because like we didn't have this Scrooge McDuck Hush Agent until this set just now. So I mean, it's hard to predict. If I could pick any Ruby card, maybe this Hercules that we just got, or even going back, uh, a reprinted B prep. Something's gotta
Um,
something spicy. I mean, Dragonfire we've gotten so many other times, but I could see something like that.
it,
I don't know.
it's hard to tell. They could pull something from Winterspell.
They very well could. Or if this is coming, but yeah, no, you're right. Is coming from Winterspell. I don't think it'll be released alongside Wilds Unknown. I don't know. Let's have people down in the description wherever they're listening their prediction or not even prediction. If you could pick any Ruby Glimmer to be on the next gift box, what would you like it to be?
Maui.
But checking out this art real quick, and speaking on that, this is every one of these gift boxes, this glimmer foil card that we're getting. Not only is it a glimmer foil, but it's an alternate art, which we absolutely love. But this alternate art in particular shows like that detective version of Scrooge McDuck, which kind of sucks that he doesn't have the detective tag. But there's something
Right?
here, yeah, but there's something here with this alternative art that stands out to me, and that's the background of this card because it could very, very well be hinting at a new location that we could be seeing in a future set. I don't know how far you've made it in DuckTales because I know you started DuckTales, but this is if you look in the background, this is actually a island or whatever. This is Black Heron's Island, and we just got Black Heron in
Yep.
this set just now. Believe she's a 2 cost 3/3 steel card, but this would be her island in the background, which we don't have as a location yet.
Sorry, I was pulling up the flavor text of the Black Heron just to see if there would be anything to that, but it seems to be a direct quote from the show. It says, you may have bested me before, McDuck, but not this time." So I was maybe hoping that maybe the flavor text would have alluded to the hidden art here,
Yeah.
but it seems generic. So, but nice catch though. I it yeah. There's no denying it's Black Aaron Island.
But moving on from that and some of these normal products that we're starting to see patterns of with the starter sets and the gift boxes, we have some really, really unique products that actually got announced too that we're super excited for. And I think the first ones that we're going to talk about are the Disney Lorcana Collector's Guide sets, two of which we are getting in February. On February 1st, we have one that will cover the first story arc of Lorcana, sets 1 through 4, and then another that will cover sets 5 through 8. These collector's guides are probably the most exciting things that have been revealed, in my opinion, in a very, very long time whenever it comes to product because it's something fresh, it's something new, and it's something we've all been asking for. No matter who you are, I think we've all asked for other ways to see the story of Lorcana be told because there's so many people that come to content creators like us or Aladdin's Castle or other people that want to hear more about the story of Lorcana and they can't necessarily decipher it through the art that's being like the cards themselves that are telling the stories. So the fact that we are now getting these books that will completely cover it is the definitive overarching story of the Disney Lorcana world. They will be told through exciting Easter eggs and old and new, never before seen art and fantastic short stories written by the actual, like the official Disney Lorcana narrative team. Which brings to question something we've talked about recently in the Discord. I always referred to the website and to check out some of these old articles and stuff and these stories by the narrative team. And we recently noticed that it kind of disappeared. The website was revamped. They've added this new slot on the taskbar up top or whatever, where you can go, you can check on the competitive scene and keep up with all of the DLCs, the winners, the outcomes, the future DLCs and CCQs. They took away the little thing that said story. So all these previous articles where you could read about everything is now gone. And I personally, I feel like that was intentional to try to drive people towards purchasing this product if they wanted that information. I was gonna buy it anyways. I'm sure
So
you guys were too.
I'm gonna be the odd one out and say I'm not I think it's great, although maybe we just have to see what's inside these. But my initial impression was I'm not a very big fan that we have to pay to learn and get those story elements. That's going to be
Okay.
my devil's advocate, maybe unpopular opinion because it, and maybe we'll talk about the story a little bit more because we lost the animated trailers for each set. We got replaced with the lore cards, if you will. They stripped it from the website, but now it's like to help tell the story of it and also learn more. It's behind a book paywall. So I want your thoughts behind that.
I wish that they would have left it on the website. And this is an
Yeah,
interesting thing too. If you go to the actual Disney Lorcana Discord, not ours, but the official Disney Lorcana Discord,
here's the
there's all
soundbite of
these
Rich Hill.
different yeah, right? Disney Lorcana dot or GG something something slash.
Discord.gg/Disney Lorcana. I think that was
There
it.
you go. Join that, join the conversations. There's tons of stuff going on, but there's all these little tabs over on the side. One of those is actual like story beats where you could actually keep up. There is this guy in there. His Discord username is Chris P. Like crispy, I guess, but he actually works for the Disney Lorcana Narrative team. And when this broke, that it was taken off of the actual website, like the story portions or whatever, I brought that up in our Discord, and we have someone within our Discord that's very, very active in the official side there, especially in that chat. And they brought it to Chris's attention. And Chris is actually like you can check him out if you can go find the believe it was the what do they call it when they do it on Discord? It's not the Lorecast, but the
The
live
stage.
stages. Yeah. There was a narrative stage that came out alongside Whispers in the Well that Chris was actually a part of, and he was completely unaware that they had removed that story
Mm,
section off of the website. So it seems like it's decisions not being made by the narrative team to have their work hidden behind the paywall, and I don't like that that's happening. I don't know who's in charge of making the decisions like that, whether we point back at Ravensburger themselves, some of the higher ups, whether it's Ryan Miller, this, that, the other. I'm glad we're getting the products. Again, we've asked for it. I'm not gonna complain that it's happening, but I wish they would have kept the free versions there on the website, and hopefully, that's something that we're still gonna get, and maybe they're updating it to add some of those newer stories from the more recent sets back on there, because it is something that's needed for people, everybody, for, like, free access to go see what's going on with this story.
yeah,
We're
because
not
I
just
think
getting story in these books either.
right.
We're getting much, much more than that. We're getting art, and you're getting all the lore cards. Since the lore cards have came out, they will all be accessible in this, and then they will act as kind of collector's guides too, where every card that was released from the different sets. So, like this first one, sets 1 through 4, you'll have all your cards from the first chapter and Rise of the Floodborn and Into the Inklands and Ursula's Return. It's kind of like a checkbox, like you can keep track of your collection, or you can bring this book and have artists sign those cards.
Fair. It almost reminds me of like a good like coffee table book because I have a few of those. Like I have like whatever from each of those. But no, and it's I'm gonna be very curious to see what story elements because something that I think and maybe Dylan has seen this, but ever since they took that off the website way back about 108 days ago, we published a short from our episode with Disney Canada Mike saying what is happening with Lorcana's story. And ever since they took that down 10 days ago, we have seen an increase of views on that video. So it's something that I think people are noticing. It's something that people obviously want to know about. But yeah, I agree with that, and I think I wish that the free story education was there. It just depends. It may be just a nudge. It may just be like one little thing that we don't know about the story yet. But um, I think I'm going to put on my Disney Dad Canada hat here because I know Dylan has been our lore master through the story of Lorcana. Admittedly, I have not read the case notes from Whispers in the Well. I unfortunately, ever since they've pivoted to lore cards and we took the lore break and fabled, personally, I feel a little bit more disconnected from the story of Lorcana than I ever have been. And I don't know if as just somebody, just speaking, playing all angles here, is this going to be enough to suffice the rich story that is in Lorcana by going the lore card route and going these paid collectors books?
This is my hot take with it. No, because these sets are coming out, or these books, whatever, are coming out from previous sets. So, like, we have 1 through 4, we have 5 through 8. If we're trying to keep up with the current story overarching story of what is currently going on with Disney Lorcana and connect to it on a deeper level, like you're saying, what's up? You got to wait until sets 9, 10, 11, 12 release before you get that book, before you can go back and actually see what was being told.
Notice something, and there might be a reason for that. Because look who's in the bottom right-hand corner of each of those books.
Art row. Let me pull up the art. Pull up the art.
Maybe there's a reason why we have to wait.
Mm-hmm. In the bottom right hand corner. Oh, okay. So the
The
big
villain.
bad, right?
Yeah.
The
So maybe
villains.
this is a big bad. It's like whoever our next big bad, Hades, whoever our next big bad is going to be, maybe then we'll get another collector guidebook. But still, that's coming out after the fact.
Yeah, so if you're playing along, you're trying to follow along with this story currently of what's going on with Hana and what's
Right.
going on with the craziness in Winterspell and why everything is now frozen over that we haven't deciphered yet what's going on. Maybe we'll see more in February. Or what's going on with Wilds Unknown and why all the snow's gone. Now the entire realm of Lorcana is taken over by these wild vines and
It's
stuff that we're
jungle.
seeing Hinwin predict at and see. It's crazy. And it's like, how do you even throw Fabled into this? Because it's like you have sets 1 through 4, 5 through 8. There's no story in
But we
Fabled.
weren't celebrating anything in the lore.
Right.
There was no lore in Fable. So I think that's it. I think it's if you want to follow the story, at least the message as somebody just your somebody as somebody invested in lore, maybe the message here is if you want to keep up play by play with the lore, you got to look at the flavor text, you got to look at the art, you got to look at the products, you got to read the lore cards, and then once we get our
Gotta
big bad,
be a
then
part of
we
the
encourage.
conversation.
Yeah,
Part of the conversation on the Discords. Of follow, watch, and like the content by your favorite content creators like Aladdin's Castle, us, whoever else that's keeping up with these story beats to help tell that story.
yeah.
But if you want the actual story, not just our predictions or how we interpret it or anything else, I have to wait for these books for the narrative team to tell their story. Where all the pieces finally come together once again like one big puzzle. Thanks, Ravensburger.
Okay, so I'm glad we talked through this because we haven't talked about this topic. Like we've talked about the collector sets, and now that we've kind of workshopped it and like taken the big strand of spaghetti noodles and we have it straightened out, it makes sense if they continue this trend of like a collector book every big bad. I could see myself picking it up and actually reflecting on that story. So I'm glad we workshopped that in real time. So
Well, I'll show you this. This is a collector's art book from World of Warcraft. This is the trading card game art book with all the cards in it. I have two of these. I have one open. This one's still sealed. I can't find my open one offhand, so it must be on a bookshelf somewhere. But this is why I'm excited about those. Is because I like having these books. This is 6 sets of World of Warcraft trading card game in a hardcover book. It's awesome to have just on the shelf and pull it off every once in a while and just go, let me look through it and see what these pretty cards look like. Back in the day, since this isn't a game anymore. It's now Hearthstone,
listen,
everybody. It's now Hearthstone.
John's house is like a museum. I was blown away. It's really
You'll never
impressive.
know what you'll find.
Lightsabers, Star Wars action figures,
Kyber crystals,
kyber crystals everywhere.
Transformers,
All
GI
kinds of things.
Joes.
If I get my my camera to focus again. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So.
But these books, if you're excited about them just as much as we are, because I think we are excited in the end for them. We wish there was free content still online on the website, absolutely. But we are still excited for these books. I'm sure that we'll already pick them up. I've already pre-ordered them. I believe John's already pre-ordered them. And if you would like to pre-order them too, I think we'll drop some Amazon affiliate links down in the description for you to check out. To where if you pre-order using those links, you give just a slight giving back to the podcast so we can bring more content just like this to you guys down the line. What else we got? So we got those. Oh, the Lorcana notebook. This one really hasn't been shown off. This one's weird, right? It's just a regular notebook. I think we got a couple of pictures of this one, John. You can just pick and choose what you want. Um, One of them is the actual cover, which it's got some gold foiling. It reminds me so much of the D23 gift box to an
Mhm.
extent. It's got that same blue with the same Disney like foiling or whatever. But this is also going to be coming out on February 1st. It will be about $15. It's blank pages. They're not lined or anything like that, but it will also have 32 pages of illustrations from the Disney Lorcana universe, reflecting back on past sets or different glimmers and stuff like that. This is neat. It's very, very versatile. I think that it would be good if you're going to some like big DLCs or set championships and stuff. Like you could use this as a way to keep track of your lore. I can see you using it at Gen Con or something, like wherever.
Oh
Or
yeah. A big thing is something I've noticed is that a lot of people will like get a fresh playmat and take it to Gen Con or a DLC, and whoever they stumble across, they sign it. So yeah, this could act like an autograph book. I it's funny how I'm more excited for the notebook than the collector's stuff initially, but that's changed as of our last conversation. But yeah, no, because right now I just use like I just stocked up on those notepads at Gen Con, and they're flimsy, but this is a proper notebook. I can see myself actually like having this as like a proper like just dedicated instead of before I pack to go to a DLC, I can be like, oh, let me grab my lore book. So
but then everybody's gonna have the same thing. So how do you make yours different, right? That's the thing. Is they're beautiful books, but if we're all carrying them around, you got to make it stand out somehow. And a lot of people are talking about using them to scrapbook.
mm.
We're gonna bring scrapbooking back. We're going to like some of your favorite cards that you got in bulk or whatever, cut them up or whatever, and put it in there. Um, just make little monuments of Disney Lorcana throughout this book. But my idea that I really like is using the book. I haven't. I've been wondering for a long time. How do you collect stickers? Because now at League, we're getting these stickers. We have all these different content creators that we meet up with that are giving us stickers. I would love to have a way to display them or collect them or show them off. Because just sitting here, let's see, I have Lumineer's sticker, Rebecca's sticker. Um, gosh, somewhere over here I have the Winnie the Pooh sticker that we had from League,
They're just
and
on my
then
deck box. Like I agree with you. There's a
yeah,
better way I think we can collect these. And I think some people are doing like dedicated pages, but um yeah, I wish there was better ways to do
I saw
it.
someone on Facebook, on the Facebook group, they have a 3D printable badge that's the exact same size as the stickers, so you can make your own pins now that they
oh,
don't take them. They're selling them on their Etsy store with the 3D print with pins on the back of it. So since they're not making pins anymore with those stickers from League, you could make pins again.
nice. I don't know. I just to me, I think that's what I'm going to use this notebook for. Is it's going to be sticker collecting, almost like stamp collecting back in the day. I'm sure John knows all about that.
Yeah. Sadly I do. You're not wrong. Sadly I do.
No,
But
it's fun though because stickers have become a very cost-effective way because in my previous slash current field of work, coins are a big thing, but coins are expensive. Challenge coins, if
it's
we
like
want to get
pins.
specific. Yeah, and that industry has pivoted towards stickers, and I guess this sticker thing is really serious. So I felt very underprepared in Milwaukee. But two things is one, there might be somebody at Richmond who has stickers on them. Thanks, John. John's been playing around with stickers. So yeah, we have stickers. You can find me at Richmond to get them. I think that brings us to a little reminder that amongst the holiday season craziness, there is another very big Lorcana event coming up. We've had a lot of smaller store events going on. We've had a ladies 5K, we've had a juniors division scholarship, we've had CCQs, but our next DLC is actually going to be in Richmond here in the States, and it's our last core constructed DLC before the Indie DLC in Indy in June, July, something like that. So I will be there. I am excited that I will have our own stickers, thanks to John, who's really headed up the sticker project for the ink table. So John has workshopped and played around with inks, and yes, we do have stickers of his face. If you're in the Discord, you know. I think last night, I think Noelle or Dylan's daughter found a John sticker and slapped it on her deck box or whatever. So that's fun. But yeah, so DLC Richmond, we haven't made a promotional graphic yet, like we did for Milwaukee. But Richmond is coming up, if I can find the dates here. January 9th through the 11th. It is a sold out event. There are attendee badges still popping up every now and then. So I will be there. This will be the first time I've gone to 2 DLCs in a season. So I think it goes back to a conversation we've had. We're very spoiled, for better or for worse, with where we are physically located, to where it's a lot possible. So just like with Milwaukee, I'll be making shorts, I'll be making stories, travel, whatever. I'm not flying this time. We're actually within driving distance. So myself, my colleague, and a small group, we've been war rooming it. We are heading up for the full day of side events as well, which is another good improvement. So but the Discord is the best place to follow along with my adventures to DLC Richmond. It's crazy because literally Christmas, New Year, DLC. Like that's the next 4 weeks, and it's actually kind of madness because we are very close to it. But if you're not inside the Discord yet, Discord's inside, the link inside the description, or you can head on out to our link tree or any of our platforms. We have it linked out. For every major US DLC, or I think we did one for Europe, I believe. But we do open up a dedicated chat thread where people can talk about the live stream and the broadcast and everything else going on. So I'm excited to see what they've improved upon, I think is the big thing. Because I know in our last episode, we talked about some areas I feel like they fell short. And so far, everything seems to be trending towards last event was good, but an even more well-rounded, well-polished event than what we had in Milwaukee. So I don't know. We'll see. The full day of side events, it'll be fun. I'm actually looking forward to playing things that I want to play rather than trying to min-max tickets. Because we'll talk about Infinity, because right now I'm not planning on doing that major Infinity event on day 2. So we'll probably do like
what was the event that you are doing this time? Was it a 2-player co-op type of Disney thing that you and your colleague are doing?
So there's some new things. There is team duos and team trios that are there. We're thinking about doing it, but one thing that they've done is they've done promo palooza, where with every win you get an additional non-foil promo tiered. So it's like Dragonfire, Pegasus, Let It Go, and then if you get, it's a 7-round event. If you win 5 or 6, you get one of the foil playmats. So
cost effectiveness, that sounds like the best bang for your buck.
yeah, listen, same with the Gen Con playmat. I'm a sucker for event exclusives, but yeah, it'd be nice to. They've adjusted the prize wall, so I think I'll be able to probably get the Elsa, which is what I wanted initially, but couldn't just because of the state of things. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool improvements. Side event tickets are not open yet, so just kind of not really thinking about that right now, just thinking about the main event. But yeah, it's gonna be Richmond. We're close. It's gonna be a good time. We'll have content coming out of it. Looking forward to being with everybody again. And we get an additional day this time, which is exciting. So we get 3 days instead of just like 2.5-ish, depending. So
nonstop running around, saying hi to people in between matches, not being able to eat lunch.
That's the big thing. If you remember watching the stories for Milwaukee, I got back to my hotel. It's like, if you're curious what it's like to attend a DLC, it's like this, and it was like Mr. Krabs is like blurred and kind of running around or whatever. That's what it's like. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what I can pull off a DLC. So
You ever decide what you were playing? I know last we talked, you were like, I don't know. I don't have a clue.
I have 3 decks. I have 3
Enough
decks
said.
picked out. Yep, I have 3 decks. We we have a so we have a war room coming up, and we have a gauntlet coming up. So where we're just gonna look. We're just gonna see what's happening. See what we can tech in. I'm now a fan of one ofs, and that's a conversation not for this podcast. But we'll
Like
get
to hear that.
we'll get into the math. We'll get. I'll talk about the math of it one day coming up. But no, I have 3 decks. I have 2 decks, and then I have been workshopping a deck that's not really being ran right now, but it's just that was our thing, is we wanted a short list of 2 main decks, and we wanted a rogue deck that we wanted to workshop and see if it was viable. So yeah, no one turn quest or anything like that for me though. So uh big brain. No, none of that. So I'll share the lists in due time. Yeah, so I don't know, we'll have fun.
You're not the only one that's going to be having lots of fun in the month of January because, unfortunately, even though we can't make it to Richmond, John and I got some other Disney Lorcana adjacent stuff going on as well. And I think the first of that is John is heading on his first cruise, I do believe, and a Disney cruise at that.
Yeah, the weekend of DLC. So I will be on a
We're gonna be
boat
everywhere.
and not know what's going on until I get back Monday. So, but yeah, we're going on a Disney cruise that weekend for my 50th birthday, which is not for another month after that. But with work and everything, that's the only time we could really get a cruise in. So. Yeah, I'm excited. I've never been on a big boat before, so it should be interesting, especially someone who gets motion sickness. So
It'll be fine.
yeah, we'll see. I got plenty of medicine just in case. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be exciting. It's only a 3-day, so it's not a long one. We figured we'd take a short one first and see how we like it, and then go from there. We were hoping to go to the parks a couple days before we went, but that week is apparently a crazy week because that is the week of their 10K, 5Ks, all their Ks runs that week. So there's not a room available. Yep, Run Disney's that week. Yeah, so there was literally no hotels available at Disney World unless you wanted to stay at like the Grand Floridian for like $1,000 a day, a night, and it was like, nope. So never mind. So we're not going to the park that week. In fact, we couldn't find a room available at the park until the end of February that was affordable. So they're really packed full, which I'm sure, especially now with what you're going to, Dylan, it'll be packed. But yeah, I've got all my bulk. I'm getting ready to separate out and make into little packs to take on the ship and just kind of drop off at everybody's, what do they call them? Fish nets? What's that?
Fish extenders. And I believe they call it that thing.
Yeah. So I've got all my bulk from the past 10 sets to get rid of. So 12 sets, whatever one we're on, 10, 11, whatever. Drop them all off anyway. So I'm getting rid of all that. So if you're on that cruise that weekend, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 because I expect to go through every day and drop packs off. That's how many I'm going to have.
Rooms.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have that many. I've got 1,000 bags, so it's like I'm going to fill up however many I can. So I've got.
Sounds gonna be like the Easter Bunny.
I've got 2 big boxes.
Santa on the cruise line.
Yeah, I've got 2 big boxes of bulk. I've got a lot of bulk that I need to get rid of. I've went through and I got a buddy who just wants one of every card. I went through and pulled all the cards for him, and then I've still got 2 boxes worth of trove boxes, 2 trove boxes full of bulk. So
you're gonna put on a red coat and dye your beard white and.
No, I don't have to dye it white. It's already white right here. It's blended into my shirt. So yeah, but no, that's my plan. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to just having time to do nothing but relax, even if it is just for a couple days. We're driving down. So it'll be a good time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Was hoping they would start doing the Disney Lorcana stuff on the boat, but doesn't look like that's a thing. So that's too bad.
No, I don't think we've talked about that on the show, like the update of those events, because we know that they ended. I don't think we've talked about DCL stuff
Yeah.
since then. So
Yeah.
no, I guess a couple months ago on the Treasure, one of the cast members on board said that this sailing was the last Lorcana events on the Treasure, and they have no idea if it's coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful. I'm still hopeful and optimistic, but I mean that's a lot of free product to give out on a
Yeah,
sailing.
it is. I mean, even if they charge for it, I think it would still be all right. But whatever. I mean, I get it. They're just trying to get people. They're trying to get people hooked. So yeah, I get that. But Dylan, you're
will
going.
Will it come back?
Yeah, that's the question: is will it come back? Maybe. It may come back in.
I think it will.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me.
Like we're getting ready to say, for one, you just scared the crap out of me. Not saying that you couldn't find any hotels all the way to the end of February. That's super scary.
Yeah,
I feel lucky enough that I was able to, but now it's like, how packed is this place going to be?
It's going to be packed. I mean, it's crazy. It was like February 19th before I could find. And when I say find a room, I find an affordable room, $200 or under. I'll say that. Not because we don't pay. I don't pay $300-400 for a room. We just can't afford that. We're a budget hotel.
Yeah. I got
$250 maybe.
The main thing though is that those run Disney events start at like 2-3 in the morning though. Yeah. So I think it'll fizzle out as the week goes on. But yeah, it unless they're doing the dopey, which is 5K, 10K, half marathon.
Yes, they're doing all. That's all that. Yeah. It's all that week. Yeah.
Yeah. There's people that do all of it, which is insane.
But the Run Disney stuff is just that week.
It's just that week.
Find any affordable hotels all the way through February.
Yeah.
Which is super scary.
Well, and that's what's even worse is because Visa sent me a thing because I have a Disney Visa card, and they're like, "Hey, we've got all these great deals on rooms." Great. None of these deals are available because none of these rooms are available. So why are you even teasing me with this bull crap? But
everybody else got the same thing.
Yeah, everybody else got the same thing apparently before I did. So, but anyway, sorry, you're going. You're good.
Yes, I will be there in January as well. So January 19th through like the 23rd or something like that. I will actually be at Disney World. So it was kind of a financial thing. I would have liked to went to Richmond. But it's like, okay, cool. These are back to back. Do we want to go to Disney or do we want to go to Richmond? And we've talked about it before. I go anywhere. It's a family affair. And Richmond is just not feasible for a family of 4 that includes 2 children. So we decided to go to Disney World instead. Specifically because of one event that is going on. And that is the Epcot, what is it? The Festival of the Arts. Let me find my notes here. Yep. So the Festival of the Arts at Epcot, which runs January 16th through February 23rd. So I'll be there on the 19th, which is almost right after opening weekend of this event that's going to be taking place. I'm super excited for everything that's going on, all the festival themed treats. There is a special Figment scavenger hunt for anybody who doesn't know who Figment is. He is this special, unique Disney character that is from Epcot in particular, and there is a scavenger hunt going on called Figment's Brush with the Masters. It's like $11.99. So if you're an Illumineer that's down there for other reasons, which we'll talk about, this is another scavenger hunt that you can pay to do. You go to, I guess, right at the World Showcase opening entrance, and we have a picture of the World Showcase on here too because there's so many people. I'm fortunate enough that I've been to Disney a couple of times, the same way that you guys have. But there's so many people that have not been to Disney World at all. And then even some that maybe they've been to Disneyland, but they haven't been to World. I mean, we just watched Rebecca and Baker and all these other people at the World Championship go to Magic Kingdom at Disney World for the first time and see Cinderella's castle and be able to compare it to, what is it, Aurora's castle over in Disneyland. It's the massive size difference. So for people who don't know what World Showcase is, this is like the second half, and the image that we have, this is just the second half of Epcot. You still have the big ball and everything. But this is one of my favorite spots because, unlike Preston, I'm not a world traveler. I can't. I know you do it for work, but there's never a situation I think in my entire life where I will get the opportunity to travel the world. So World Showcase is that for me because you have what they call World Showcase Lagoon, which is this man-made lagoon, and then all around it you have these different pavilions that are broken down into like different countries, and it truly is like walking from one country into another. It's crazy. It's like around the world in 80 days almost. But these scavenger hunts that they have, typically you would pick it up right at the entrance of the World Showcase area, and then you would go to each one of these pavilions and you're searching for something, whether it's a paintbrush or a giant Easter egg during the Flower and Garden Festival that they have, different picture frames or something that they have during well, no, this is the art festival. You're looking for Figment essentially hidden within different artwork. It's going to be a sticker book where you have to get the sticker and match it up with which pavilion you found Figment in, and then you turn it in for a reward in the end. I've done this a couple of times for different festivals, but this is the first time that I will be participating in the Festival of the Arts. With that being said, that is not the only scavenger hunt taking place. Because one of the big reasons that I'm going in the first place is they are now having Disney Lorcana events at the Festival of the Arts. And one of those scavenger hunts or one thing that they're going to have is a scavenger hunt called where is it at? I want to call it search and seek or ink and sink. It's like an ink and search or an ink and find, where it's the same thing as this Figment one that I previously talked about. It'll be a sticker book that you get where you have to go around the World Showcase Pavilion throughout Epcot, and you're going to find the giant Lorcana cards, and you got to match a sticker up with those giant Lorcana cards where you found them, and then you will turn those in to get a promo card. We will also be getting a collection quest very, very similar to what Disneyland had when Fabled was released over in like Beast Castle. But ours, for whatever reason, is in the Morocco Pavilion. And if we still have that World Showcase photo showed up, we can actually show like where it's actually going to be taking place for anybody that is going. But this is free. You don't have to pay for this. And the way that it's stated is that you will go and there's a bridge, and as you're walking, you'll go across this bridge and you can pick up a quest book to participate in both of these events. The collection quest, which they are marketing or advertising as the largest collection quest that they have done thus far, and this ink and find scavenger hunt. But the Morocco Pavilion, right there against the lagoon, I think in this image, there is a building right underneath the word Morocco, facing out towards the lagoon. They are actually turning that building or a section of it into what they are calling the Illumineers Lounge. Typically, it's just like an extra indoor seating area with tons of seats, chairs, tables, whatever. But that will be what they are calling the Illumineers Lounge. You can go participate in the collection quest there. Turn in, and then for those that don't know the collection quest, you'll get one pack of cards. Me and Preston talked about this yesterday. They have not confirmed what pack that you're getting or what cards that you'll be trying to collect, like which set, but it will be all one set for sure. Maybe Fabled, that would be my guess, because one thing that they did say that they will have is the old cutouts that we saw at Gen Con that we actually got a photo in front of with the Mickey and the Minnie on either side.
Table banner.
Yeah. So it'll also be neat to see that again, especially to get like a photo with it because it's like two completely different time periods throughout our Lorcana journey that I can be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take a photo with it here, take a photo with it there. That's neat. And Fabled again is that introductory set that drives people in. So to have all these different Disney guests show up and be introduced to Fabled and Disney Lorcana in this way is huge.
And also, we have a video of what a collection quest is like. So I'll link that down inside the description as well. So we did one at Gen Con, so the exact same thing. Do we know if it's one pack or two packs? Because we got two at Gen Con.
I don't.
I forget. I don't know what they did at DCA. That's been so long ago.
I think it's one pack, and then the big difference there is if you go watch that video, we had to collect 6 cards.
John, was it 6, I feel? Yeah, roughly 6.
Yeah, I think it was 6. Yeah, it was 6.
The collection quest at the park, you only have to collect 4 cards.
Okay. That's what I was missing. So
Then you turn in your completed quest books that you're getting for free that they're just handing out or whatever it is they're doing. That's a whole side thing. I don't this is very different than what they're doing in Disneyland. Is everybody who's reading this, we're excited about it, and we're trying to compare it to the previous collection quest they had at Disneyland. One of the cool things that I think they had there that we're not getting is they did it in Beast Castle. It was very, very thematic. Ours is in the Morocco Lounge. Yeah, they're converting it to this Illumineers Lounge. Maybe they'll surprise me with what that's like, and they'll decorate it, and it'll be very Great Illuminary esque. But the inside the Beast Castle, it was storytelling at its finest through the way that Disney does it with that over the top Disney magic, and you had an entire show to go along with it. That's also like where you picked up your quest book and stuff. I'm not reading anything about that this time around, and I really feel like that's just not going to be happening. Like it's just completely cut, and we're not going to get the world building aspect of what Disney Lorcana is.
no, and Dylan and I talked about this last night at our Infinity event. Is at DCA whenever they did the first one in the park. You had like a callback time. Like if you wanted to attend this pre-show and get the thing, you had to come at a certain time, and it was in a room. It wasn't something that you could just kind of like pop in and pop out of real quick. It was a proper pre-show. And looking at where they're distributing the quest books, I don't see how they're facilitating that unless it's going to be thematically themed, like almost like in World of Warcraft. If you're walking down some like road in Goldshire and there's like some vendor pop up, and like I don't know, just like like almost like a pop up, like maybe the people handing it out will be dressed like the Illumineer in the Bell's Library. But in terms of like a proper pre-show, I don't know how they can facilitate that. I hope they surprise us, but I just don't see how they can facilitate that with what we know, where we know it's happening.
One part of that thematic side that they had at Disneyland were the promos. So you
Yep.
completed the collection quest, and the promos that you got were a Belle and a Beast, which I mean it took place in Beast Castle. This we're fortunate enough that we're getting 3 promos, and we'll talk about those a little bit, but they're not thematic to like an overarching pre-built story that they're telling. I do have feelings about these promos, and I think me and Preston, again, me and you talked about this at Infinity yesterday, and I think we determined a really smart and educated reason as to why they chose these cards. But they're different, right? Because these are all cards that we've seen before. Whereas the Fabled one, that collection quest started right beside Fabled. This is happening in between Winterspell and Whispers, so you can't really pull from a new set, an old set, or anything like that. So they got, believe it was like 3 different sets that they're pulling these promos from.
First chapter,
Slash ninth reprint.
first slash ninth, you have Shimmering Sky set 5 and set 4.
Yeah. The first card is Rapunzel, Appreciative Artist, which I believe she was from set 4, correct?
Yep, set 4.
We still have that outside, and you really pointed it out, the trim on these special magical places promos that we're getting that we've gotten since that last collection quest. I believe was it Christian Hell? Was that one of the lead art directors?
I think.
I think
I don't know off the top of my
he's the one
head.
that I could be getting the name wrong, but I think that they're the one who actually did this trim or designed this trim.
Mhm, okay. And
But
yes,
we
it's the
have,
exact same trim. I was
yep.
mistaken last night. So I thought the trim, like the border breaking trim, was new. No, it's not. It was there on the other ones.
So, and then before we move on to these other ones, one thing that I want to point out It's actually, believe it was Missy Enchanted who pointed this out. And that's the way that these promo cards are now being numbered. Because if you look down on the bottom, it says 1, the Rapunzel, for instance, is 1/DIS, like for Disney. So this is the first Disney card. Yet we've had previous Magical Places promos. Like we've had Belle. We've had 2 Bells actually. We had the Belle that was given out in a collection quest, and then like the Belle Engineer or Inventive something that was given out for free and handed out down at like Disney Spring and select Disney Store locations. And then you had Beast. But even those did not have this. So this seems to be the first ones that are numbered 1 DIS, 2 DIS, and it just seems like the new Magical Places promo cards going forward are going to have that numbering system. Really enjoy because now it's something that we can keep track of, I guess, through that numbering
A lot
system.
easier.
Yeah, so much easier. The second card is Stitch Rockstar. Wonderful. Again, once again, seeing Stitch, he's such a beloved character by so many different people. And I think that that's a great one for people to like see, oh, I can get this promo. I think it'll draw new people who aren't necessarily Lorcana fans like us to actually want to participate just to get this free promo card. I think his is like what, 2 DIS as well?
3 DIS.
3 DIS. Okay, so he's the third one, which brings us to the second one, Donald Duck Pie Slinger. So thinking about this, we have 3 promo cards. It has not been revealed yet, and I don't want to speak out of pocket or out of turn, but we know that at Disneyland there was 2 promos. You did a collection quest to receive the bell. Once you turned it in, you could do a harder collection quest to get the beast. With this, we have a collection quest. They have not confirmed that there will be a harder collection quest, and we know about the ink and find or the ink and search scavenger hunt. You complete those 2, you get promos. So how is it that you get the third promo? Well, we still don't know. In my opinion, it'll be you could complete it in for 1 or whatever for the Rapunzel. If you completed the second event, you get the Stitch, and then if you have completed both, then you get that third. We'll see. We have less than a month at this point before then, or around a month before then. Because it starts the 16th, a month and 2 days, because today's the 14th. But the promo cards themselves and how they were selected, because it's such a large variety of the sets they were pulled from. And I think what we determine is that this reflects the Festival of the Arts itself in general. First, you have the Rapunzel, who's appreciative artist. So that refers back to all the art that is being showcased at the Festival of Arts. The second is Stitch Rockstar. And during these festivals, they always have a like musical series. I believe for the Festival of Arts, they actually have a Broadway series. And like opening weekend while I'm there, they're going to have Broadway people from Aladdin actually singing some numbers there. And then last, Donald Duck Pie Slinger. And that just goes into the culinary aspect of all these festivals where they have all these different wonderful treats that you could only get in festival seasons. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to bring content and share all that with you guys. I'm excited to possibly see some of you there and see some other content creators there if you're fortunate enough to make it out there. We have We've also had tons of Disney Lorcana fun at our local game store recently.
This episode of the Ink Table Podcast is brought to you by us. For over a year now, our small inclusive community has continued to grow as Illumineers like you have pulled up a seat to the Ink Table. Many of you along the way have asked the same question: where can I buy some merch? Well, you're in luck. Powered by Fourth Wall, we recently launched our very own online store. It's finally here, and you can get your hand on hats, hoodies, sweaters, classic tees to show the world that you have claimed your seat, and they can too. Check out our Classic Collection for designs similar to what the team wore at Gen Con. Rep Your Ink Collection is perfect for Illumineers looking to represent their favorite ink type or further color match with their deck when they show up at League or DLCs. Our Kitty Table Collection has the perfect gift for your young Illumineers this holiday. And make sure to stay warm this season by checking out the Winter Collection. Now through January 1st, you can get 10% off your entire order with the promo code WINTERTABLE2025 at checkout, or simply just leave a donation to further support us. Know that 100% of your purchase goes towards supporting and growing the Ink Table Podcast brand, as all revenue made from the merch shop will be funneled back into creating unique content, helping keep the podcast and website running, and create more opportunities for us to give back to all of you. Visit the shop at inktable-shop.fourthwall.com. A link can be found in the description below. And hey, thanks for pulling up a seat.
Infinity Weekend, which is still technically ongoing. We're recording this Sunday afternoon. But yeah, we finally have the whole New World promos that these long yearned for promos that we've been looking at for a better part of almost a year now, and we have it. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because we did have some weather here in West Virginia that some folks couldn't make it, so we had a little bit of a smaller group than normal. But it was fun. Last night was fun. We had a good time. Dylan, we have a short coming out soon, but Dylan, for those who maybe haven't seen it yet, what combo did you play with?
Ooh, cars, names, subtext.
Little John.
It was Little John's. I did bring out my bodyguard deck. Well, I'm not going to say that it played fantastic. I did think that we were going to have to call Adult Protective Services by the end of the night because I did get whooped up on by both my son and my daughter. So, but yeah, cool combos. Being able to use cards from current legal cards from Core Constructed and then some of the cards that have been rotated out. There's actually a 2-cost uninkable uncommon. Forget the sub name on it. Really neat card that I don't see anybody ever play. It's a Little John that when you play him, he does one of two things. You get to choose. You can either deal 2 damage to a villain character, or you can give one of your hero characters resist +2. It's a really neat card to play, but it was even cooler because he made the perfect shift target for that older, I believe, 6-cost Little John Floodborn that when he quests or while he's exerted, he gives all of your other bodyguard characters resist +1 and +1 lore. Having something to finally be able to like shift him onto at a halfway decent cost, absolutely fantastic. It was fun to play.
And Fortisphere.
And Fortisphere, because speaking of bodyguards, I
And
signed
the
a
signed
copy
one.
of Fortisphere at that, so thank you.
No, it was fun to see Dylan play his bodyguards and is Fortisphere. I just took my old beloved bounce package with Powerline because that was the first thing we noticed at Gen Con when Powerline was revealed is he could sing Be Prepared, and I'm like, we couldn't do that in Core Constructed until Infinity. So yeah, it's hilarious whenever like Powerline sings Be Prepared. He's gone, but the mashup still takes place thanks to the bag. So that's kind of funny. Like the board is clear and yet Powerline is still doing his mashup ability. So no, it was fun. It was just your standard card draw Merlin bounce and Powerline with all the Ruby songs. So it's also amazing, like, because like those like Merlin rabbits were like $4 at one point, and now it's like I'm gonna say market cost of that deck is now $10. Like it's wild, like what happens with the rotation. But that was super fun. Just playing with these old cards, and I say old cards, all cards are playable, but it was nice to come back. But unfortunately, John couldn't make it. There's some again weather. It's winter, so. But John, what would you have played, or what did you have sleeved up to play? How about that?
I had a version of Steel Song with what did I have with it? Namaris, Tiana, and like Gazelle, some of the new stuff. I was really looking forward to playing it, but oh well.
And a certain song, hopefully.
What's that?
And a certain song, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I mean I had all the old songs. I didn't have any new songs in there. It was a Whole New World, Let Storm Rage On,
Along Comes Zeus.
Yeah, Along Comes Zeus. It was all those. So
Grab Your Swords.
Yeah. Well, I didn't put Grab Your Swords in there. I wanted to really bad, but I was getting up high on the Uninkables, so it was like
yeah.
As much as I wanted to put it in there, but
it was a fun casual event too, and like at one point the entire room was silent because I think everyone was just so focused trying to remember the lines of all these previous cards.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I think at one point it was like, wait, is Merlin whenever he's just banished, or Inkwell? It's like whenever he leaves entirely. It was just so broad. So a lot of it was just trying to focus on what these previous cards did. So the first Infinity weekend at that, we had some pretty fun decks. I know Dylan's wife broke out the Ruby Amethyst. Everything has evasive. Try to touch me.
Stupid Peter Pan Shadow.
What else? We had a Queen deck. We had a Amethyst, or not Amethyst. We had an Amber Steel, Amber Steel deck. We had
Crazy hyper aggro.
Yeah, we had a power line, a Ruby Steel power line.
Maleficent Staff bounce package.
Yes, the if you know, you know. This kid and his staves, I guess. No, it's fun. I can't lie. It was Dylan's son, and I can't lie. They had 3 Maleficent staffs out, and I was like, I want to bounce a Merlin just to see the 3 staffs resolve. I just wanted to see it resolve.
And I'm great. Cool. I'm glad that he had fun with the staffs. You had fun bouncing your Merlin Rabbit back to hand. Yeah, but the next match when I played against him, complete and utter board control was just like he dominated because it was every turn, right? He had the staff out. I played Phil. I'm trying to play the hero package with the bodyguards. I play Phil. Mother knows best. Send it back to your hand. I'm gonna gain a lore from the staff. Okay, next turn, I'm gonna play the new Finnick, right? The little 1-cost Finnick. But I guess if you pay 2 extra ink, then you can send characters back or something. So it seemed like every turn for 5 turns in a row, I would play something. He's like, nah, put it back in your hand, get rid of it. All he had to do was play characters, and it was just gaining lore from the staff.
It was fun.
I'm telling you, I was my children abused me yesterday, and I'm glad that they both had fun. Getting my daughter to actually play Lorcana. She got up this morning. I didn't tell you guys about this. She got up this morning, and she was like, "Where's the Lorcana bag at? I want to play see if my brother wants to play Lorcana because we didn't get to play against each other yesterday."
Oh, that's fun. No, your daughter. Just wait till Winterspell. It's
She had Pascal, the quest for 3, 2 of the new Sebastians, and a lady all on board against me at one point yesterday. I'm like, where did these characters come from?
That's where Grab Your Swords comes into play. No. But no, first ever Infinity Weekend, we've been talked about forever. There's Whole New World promos. Briefly from a collector's perspective, I know that some shops did just, you show up, you get a promo. I know some shops had the extra availability to do play sets for winners. Some stores did product. It was interesting to see how each store did Infinity Weekend different. It was entirely up to the stores. But from a collector's perspective, though, on TCG Player, I checked last night. I'm going to try to look on it this morning. If you're looking at the secondary market, let's see here. If we're looking, the market of that card, it actually went up $1 from overnight. So it's up to a almost $8 card now. So I don't really expect this card. If you're looking for play sets and need to acquire them on the secondary market, I don't I don't see them going super crazy high just because every game shop got 40 or 45. Is that right? So
Like 40,
yeah.
yeah, somewhere there.
So they're out there. I know John's gonna be like, yes, I want the whole playset, please. So um it's kind of a nice segue into again, this Infinity format is the first alternate format in Lorcana. I know some stores are holding dedicated Infinity nights. I know in our neck of the woods where our player base is just very consistent, we really don't have enough demand for a dedicated Infinity night. It seems like we're still focused on core, but one thing I hope going forward, though, is that the line is really being drawn between what is more at the competitive level of DLCs and CCQs and what's more at the store level. And I love the fact that this was I think one of the first special casual events where there was an exclusive promo for everybody. It wasn't like you didn't have to go to a set championship to get a fancy promo. This was by just simply showing up, you got this promo that is only available here. So I hope that this is not the last of these Infinity weekends. I know that obviously it costs money to print these cards. It costs money to ship the cards. Um, I know that Ravensburger, I don't think they really make anything off of the OP kits. I can't recall if that's the case or not, but I hope that this Infinity Weekend was a lot more important than just testing Infinity. It was this stimulated local stores and their casual player base to come out. And I hope this is something that continues to follow suit into next year and the years to come. Because, like my wife, for example, she couldn't make it yesterday, but she's like, I have no desire to do stores, championships, or DLCs, but it feels good to get something fancy every now and then, something for coming out. But speaking of
I'd like to
promo,
see, yeah. I mean, real quick, I'd like to see another one of these Infinity weekends this summer around the time
yeah,
of DLC 3. And I know that's just
right.
DLC 3 in the US, and then the UK will have their own DLC 3 that runs Infinity. But maybe run some more Infinity weekends around that. But like you're
And
saying,
also have it like because the whole thing with this Infinity, with the whole New World promo was people were supposed to get this promo around Worlds back in June, and it is December, my friends. So it's like maybe if they're going to have like a non-foil promo from Worlds be available to everybody, make it coincide with Worlds, but we don't know if that's going to be the case going forward.
and what was it you told me yesterday about these promos too? That they're not a whole new world promos, that they're three-quarters of the world promos because all of Latin America didn't receive them.
We can't confirm this, but somebody on our TikTok said that apparently Latin America did not receive them. So I haven't heard anything, but some person left a comment on our TikTok. So that was first I've heard that. So
And maybe it was just their store in that area or something. I mean, it could be anything. I want to find out more because I we got to make that right. Someone's got to make that right. But like you said, speaking of promos, that brings us from this whole new world promo to another special promo that you could have gotten recently. I don't think you can get it anymore, but that is the Zootopia 2 promos. Preston, do we have a name like for these special promo cards? I know that the magical places is for like when you get them from Disney parks or Disney stores and stuff. But these new promos, and you can see it in the Zootopia 2 one. I don't think we got it in the Moana one. This is the
no,
first card that actually has a new symbol down on the bottom where it looks like a movie reel.
with the lore symbol, yeah, I don't think they've officially named it. I call them film promo or theater promos.
Right. And this is we had the Moana 2, which just had the traditional like this is a promo symbol, but now we have this like the theater, theatrical symbol, and I side conversations. But I think the next one we get to look forward to is Toy Story 5 in July. We'll see, but and just a quick overview recap of Zootopia 2. I wanted to share some spoiler 3 free thoughts that I had about this movie. Let's talk money real quick. Now, this is the biggest global opening ever for an animated film of all time. Opening weekend, I know that it opened Thanksgiving weekend, right? On like the 20 day before Thanksgiving, day after Thanksgiving, something like that. It's the biggest opening ever, an animated film. and it is the fourth biggest opening for any movie ever of all time. The other 3 above it being, number 1, Avengers Endgame, 2, Avengers Infinity War, 3, Spider-Man: No Way Home, and then Zootopia 2. Same. And then whenever it comes to how much it's grossed since then, this is the second movie this year to reach the $1 billion club, to reach, like, a revenue or a gross revenue of $1 billion globally across, like, the entire globe. The first one that came out this year was the live action Lilo and Stitch, so Disney's just killing it. This was a fantastic movie and an even better sequel. Sequels scare me. They truly do because it's if you go back and you look at, like, Disney's older properties and stuff, they have sequels. There are, like, 2nd and 3rds, even, like, Cinderella. We just looked the other day, and there's, I think, a 3rd Cinderella movie we didn't even know about. But a lot of the sequels in the past were straight to VHS sequels. They were not theatrical releases. And it seems like there's this pattern here recently whenever it comes to both the theaters and the parks where everything is starting to shift and change. The first are these prequels. I mean, look how many Cars movies there are, how many Toy Stories there are. Even Frozen, they've already announced that Frozen 3 is coming out. Zootopia 2 is fantastic, and I truly think that this is a franchise that they can build upon going forward in the future and add more sequels to, and it's gonna last. Milk it for all the money that it's worth until it just doesn't work anymore, unfortunately, and I think Toy Story is kinda already there, but that's a odd subject. But one thing in particular that stands out to me is the parks. As a big park goer, even to some of the parks that I can't necessarily go to, I pay attention to what they're building and all the construction and stuff that's going on. So the way that Disney typically does it is you have a singular land, like Fantasyland or New Fantasyland. That's your big fairy tale area, and then you have different attractions throughout it that based upon your different IPs. So you might have a Winnie the Pooh ride or a Peter Pan ride, this, that, the other. That's how they've done it since the beginning. But all of a sudden, in the parks, they've changed that format and they're deciding to put more money into the parks. And instead of building just a singular attraction, we're building entire lands. So I think it was in 2021 in Shanghai Disneyland that they built the first ever Zootopia land, an entire land dedicated to just Zootopia. The original Zootopia was released in 2016. So few years after that, so in between 2016 and 2023 is how long it took for them to build this entire land. And if you know anything about and you keep up with it, over at Animal Kingdom where Dinoland USA was, it's now being converted to a like a South America land, which that kind of goes back to that traditional thing where now we're going to have different attractions based upon South American culture, whether it's Encanto or Coco or this, that, the other. Mm, Coco is not really South America; it's Mexico. That's still North America, despite some people's beliefs. Um, I'm laughing at that. Just these it scared me, right? Whenever I hear about these entire lands being built, it truly does scare me as a Disney fan who goes to the parks because it's like, why are you investing all of this money into such a large portion of your park based upon this one franchise if it's not something you're going to fester into? Again, Animal Kingdom, they built Avatar Land based upon Avatar. It opened in 2017. The original Avatar movie came out in 2009. So, just the gap between the time that movie actually came out, like the first movie, you actually opened that entire land, and James Cameron hadn't even came out with the second one yet, and you're divulging so much and money and investment to these giant lands, like even Cars Land over in Magic Kingdom now. I always question and wonder, is it worth it? And now seeing these figures and these numbers of the crazy amount of money that Zootopia 2 is pulling in, maybe it is worth it, and I think that this is a franchise that's gonna stick around for quite a while.
Establishes it. I barely have seen the first one, and I've not seen Zootopia 2, but data driven decisions. It seems
Oh,
solid.
for sure. Speaking of established franchises and establishing franchises going forward, that kind of brings us into our last subject here, and that is new franchises coming in Winterspell. We got a couple of things to talk about here. Some of it may be slightly spoilerish because it's not stuff that has been actually shown off properly by Disney Lorcana or Ravensburger saying, "Here, check out these new cards," or "Hey, these franchises are coming." But they did reveal some products, which we've already showed you in this podcast episode, that if you take a closer look at some of these products, it does reveal some new cards and some new franchises coming to Disney Lorcana in Winterspell, and we get our first look at them here. But before that, here's a cool card we haven't talked about yet that was officially revealed by the Italian team, the Italian Ravensburg team, and that is the Mickey Mouse Snowboarder. I don't think me and you talked about this, John. We talked about other stuff coming to Winterspell with what was it? Darkwing Duck and Angel and Stitch and all of them, but I don't know if we talked about this Mickey.
Don't remember.
I don't
I
even
don't
know.
think we did.
Yeah, so but this was officially revealed. I forget what the actual event was that they revealed it at. But the Italian team revealed this card, and we may actually have the Italian version that we can pull up. But this is also where we learned that Mickey Mouse in Italia is Topolino, which goes back to that restaurant down at Disney World, Topolino's Terrace. Now knowing that that is Mickey Mouse's Terrace. This is a 6 cost uninkable Mickey Mouse snowboarder. He is a 4/6 that quest for 2. And his ability Slippery Track. When you play this character and when he leaves play, each opponent chooses and discards a card. The translated flavor text is, "This is what I mean by taking curves." So this is a good one to look at for starters, I think, because similar to the same way that we just got Disney and Friends or Mickey and Friends as all of the like ink champions. I think there's been some discussion within our Discord chat and new cards that we've seen now where we think that we're going to get Mickey and Friends in ski gear, whether it's snowboarding, skiing, whatever else. You're going to see all of those characters of like the Sensational Six all like geared up, ready for winter and just having a blast. And Mickey's kind of the first one that we're seeing like that. The
Still don't know
second
why
one,
it's snowy to begin with.
right, yeah, yeah, like well, we get it. It's winter, but we've went through winter before in Disney, like in Lorcana. Like this game's been out for 2 years. How come last winter we didn't have a winter set where it was all snowy? What caused this? And that goes back to all that like that story and lore and stuff. And we'll find out. What's the release date? I think we got a photo here. Pre-release is
Re-release is in a
February
month.
13th. Yeah, February 13th. Literally 2 months. 2 months. You scared me a little bit. It comes out February, not January. February 13th,
Oh, February.
pre-release
I'm
at
so
your local
sorry.
game.
Yeah, months are hard.
And then 1 week later at big box retailers on February 20th, it'll come and you can see in that key art that snowboarding Stitch along with Angel, who is coming, and that great illuminary in the back, and the entire world or realm of Lorcana just covered in snow. Whatever reason. But this new IP. One major new IP that is coming is Mickey's Christmas Carol. This is something that I want to go ahead and discuss now because we have the holidays and we have Christmas coming up. Even though Winterspell comes out in February, Christmas is in December. This is a film that if you want to prepare for Winterspell and you want to have fun this holiday season, I highly recommend watching this movie if you haven't, because we are getting Christmas Carol cards in Winterspell. And we actually predicted this a year ago. I don't know if you remember, but we had a blind ranking where we had gosh, who was it? I always forget his name. It was Goofy, but I forget who he was playing in that movie. Jacob Marley. Jacob, the ghost of Jacob Marley. But we had that card that we created for the blonde ranking. I don't think we have it here, but over a year ago, we were like, man, it would be awesome to have like the Disney's A Christmas Carol in here. And something happened in Whispers in the Well where we got a singular card, just one, being Duckworth, who has that ghost tag. And us always talking about tags, it's like, all right, where are these tags going to come into play? Because you don't just come up with one card that has this tag. Other ones have to follow suit. So now with the Disney's Christmas Carol, that gives us the opportunity to play into that and have even more ghost cards like Jacob Marley's ghost as Goofy or Pete as like the ghost of Christmas Past, this, that, the other. So a Disney's Christmas Carol released in 1983. It is based on the 1843 Charles Dickens novella, A Christmas Story or Christmas Carol. And even though Scrooge McDuck had already like been established within comics, as a kid growing up, this movie was my first instance of seeing Scrooge McDuck, which I guess plays out because he was actually based upon the character Ebenezer Scrooge from this book or this movie. It works out great. And then if we have the image, I don't know how well we're going to be able to pull it up, but the Stitch collection set that we said is going to release shortly after Winterspell releases. We can look at that product and the product images that Ravensburger has given us, and if we have zoomed in like high res photos of this, and if we look at the very top of that packaging, you can see tons of new cards that will be coming in Winterspell that haven't necessarily been like fully shown off to where you know how much they cost, what their abilities and stuff are, but we get a little look at some of the art. Looking at that, we have a Anna, who we've recently seen revealed by IGN, but that was taken down too.
Unofficially
Oh,
revealed.
yeah, and you have another look at Angel and Darkwing Duck, the Stitch snowboarder, but we also start to see some other stuff here with what looks like a card of Mushu rolling a snowball right next to the Stitch snowboarder, which when we previously looked at like Todd and Pocahontas and those reveals, like the blurry photos or whatever, one of the photos that we saw was a Ruby card, and I think that we're going to see a lot of Mulan cards in this upcoming set, especially from that scene where she's near the end of the movie, where she's on the mountain taking on the army. So we'll have lots of those. We see a new Moana, another look at the new Lilo card, but then back here on the left hand side for one, we see Slushy, who has been big talk within our Discord conversation. This is one of the first looks that we're seeing at an alien from Lilo and Stitch, the series, outside of Stitch and Angel. Slushy, I forget his experiment number, like 623 or something like that. It was something weird, or 625. He actually started a winter wonderland in all of Hawaii within Lilo and Stitch the series. So he could be the culprit of Winterspell, but I highly doubt it. I think it's just an Easter
That'd
egg.
be that'd be like is it sad I could see them going that route? That oh Slushy's here.
He did it.
Like
All the snow is because of him. It could have been Elsa, whatever, but like Slushy would be great. Right next to Slushy in the background, see a card that looks like Goofy skiing, which goes back to that previously talked about, already revealed Italian card that we had of the Mickey Mouse snowboarder. But it looks like we're going to get a skiing Goofy. And then the little punch hole that you have where these are like kind of hung up in stores and stuff, right below that, there is a clear image to me of Minnie Mouse. And Minnie Mouse is in her outfit from A Christmas Carol. I forget the character that she actually plays there. Uh, if I can't find it real quick, Wikipedia something Disney Wikipedia. The Cratchits. Yeah, so you had Mickey Mouse who played Bob Cratchit, and then Minnie Mouse was the wife of Bob Cratchit in that story, and they had like Tiny Tim as their kid and stuff like that. But this is Minnie Mouse dressed up as Cratchit's wife. So this is just like above and beyond. This is a declaration to me saying that we are getting a Christmas Carol cards in Winterspell. And I can't wait for it.
If it's not Christmas Carol, by golly, is the closest thing to being a Christmas Carol that's not a Christmas Carol. And one thing I find really interesting, and again, it goes back to um, how we really don't have any insight in Whispers in the Well as to what's going to happen. But this card here, where it's the Great Illuminary frozen over, at
Mhm.
first I was like, what card could that be? It's probably an action because it's taking up about 48% of the card, and there's no character front and center. So it's probably an action,
It's
but
not a location.
it's not location because it's not sideways unless they decide to do something weird with it. And have location sideways. I don't know, but or portrait, I guess. But again, it has me asking the question, okay, like obviously the Great Illuminary is main subject of a card. What's the dealio? So I don't know.
Find out. I think that honestly, if we take a look at some of the Elsa cards from this current set that's going on, maybe it tells some story there. I don't want to get too deep into it because I think we're about to wrap up. But there's definitely, even though Whispers was a slower pace set, they are clearly building. Let's take Fabled out of the question, right?
Right.
Fabled's done. There was no story. We go back to those books of 1 through 4, 5 through 8, or pretend Fable didn't exist. This is the new starting point for that next book or that next chapter of Disney Lorcana. Rivers in the Well set the foundation for the stories that are to come. Whether it is telling Elsa's story of stuff that she's got going on and whatever's happening in uh, Winterspell to have everything frozen over, to this new Illuminator Hana story, who is a herbologist who I'm sure is going to play into this jungle themed wilds unknown that we're going to have in the future. We'll see. This is just the foundation, the groundwork, and Winterspell is going to give us a lot more to investigate and look at. It's going to be a joyous time, and I can't wait for, again, out of all these cards, the Christmas Carol cards. I do highly recommend that if anybody wants to prep for Winterspell, now that we see these cards might be in play in Winterspell, go check the movie out. Go watch. If you got Disney Plus, go watch A Christmas Carol. Go watch Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, Twice Upon a Christmas. The new Prep and Landing movie, it's on there now too. Going all the way back to that Dual Link card that we showed off revealed way back in the day. Go check it out. Before we roll out, we do a normal outro. I think this is a great transition to let everyone know that we only do this once a month. So we won't really be back around until the end of January once all of our events, whether it's DLC, the cruise, my Disney World trip, we will be back here at the ink table at the end of January. So until then, and until next time, happy holidays, everybody, and Merry Christmas from our homes and our hearts to you, from all of us at the table to all of your tables.
Yeah. Busy time of year. Because I've been it's crazy. I have to catch up on Discord like SpongeBob reading like the book. Like it like yep, like there's just so much going on. But no, busy time of year, whatever it looks like. Hopefully you can play Lorcana or take a break from Lorcana. I think it's important to recharge for the new year because again, it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of sets going on, and then also just we realize the holidays look different for everybody. It could be great, it could be challenging, but whatever it looks like, we hope that you're able to kind of rest up and get ready for the new year. I think that's the core message that we want to portray on. So uh, another fun episode per usual. I know that again, just like Dylan said, January is crazy, so we were trying to play Jenga with our schedules and who's going to be gone where and go, when are we going to record this thing in January? And then, we still have the nuclear red option, the emergency episode, which I think we've only done two of those, like right after Gen Con and then right after Duel Link was revealed after we kind of called it. But yeah, no, we'll be sure to share out on the Discord whenever that's coming. We'll have the clips and everything per usual in the short. So But happy holidays, folks. I think that does it for us here. So be sure to contact, if you wish to contact us for any reason whatsoever, podcast at theinktable.com. You can email just the whole group and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We also got the voicemail voice line app, which I think was first used in our live episode, but voiceline.app/theinktable if you want to leave a voice message to be featured inside the next show. You can check out all of our socials, articles, blogs, links out to various things, even our merch shop on our link tree for even more Lorcana content, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We see you all on all the socials. So for more Lorcana content, you can follow Dylan at Storyboard Dylan on YouTube or myself, Preston McNair, on YouTube. I feel like those things collect dust and then every now and then we kind of publish something and just where our main focus is here, but that's like, I don't know. They're just there, but always happy to connect other places. Also check out the merch shop and that 10% discount code for our collection, the Winter Table 2025, is going to be a mouthful, but the inktable-shop.fourthwall.com. Also linked on the link tree and descriptions as well. So whether you are listening on your podcatcher, thank you, John, for putting that in your podcatcher of choice, YouTube, what have you, be sure to consider subscribing, liking, leaving a comment, rating the show. Helps us reach even more people than you can ever imagine. So that being said, happy holidays. Have a great new year. We will see you all in 2026 back in the Ink Table, where there will always be a seat for you. Happy holidays, folks.
Bye, everybody.
This podcast is part of the Gamers Lounge Radio Network. Get more gaming news and shows at www.the-gamers-lounge.com.